how does one make money? Like, I've got this job, I'm working a 9 to 5, it's paying me $40,000 a year, whatever it might be. Is the right question to be asking, how do I make more money? And if so, how do I do that?
I always think it's a combination of making more money and also saving more money, but let's talk about the making more money piece. I think that everyone is unique in their own way, right? I would encourage people to kind of lean into what makes them unique and where they've spent a lot of their time. I think everyone has something that they're good at inherently. Figuring out what skills you have internally and how you can kind of monetize those.
One of the hidden things to do is you really are a function of who you're surrounded by. Invest in your network. And I don't mean that in a kind of cold-hearted, I want to network with these people, but just surround yourself by people who are also trying to push themselves, to push their income, push their opportunity set. And it makes it so much easier. If you're the only one doing it and you're around a group of friends, you're the odd one out and you're castigated for it. Find other people who want to do the same thing and you kind of help each other in that journey. So at an early stage, that's just one of the key things, is to find people who also want the same journey as you. That really helps. Then it's still about the best leverage of your skill set and being honest with what your skill set is. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you should be a doctor, just because you've graduated, because you can do other things. And it's figuring that out. That's not an easy bit, but you figure it out over time by trying stuff. If you're early, it's the time to make bets in yourself and your network, and that gives you the foundational tools to then earn more income and then invest more.
Create a plan. Anytime you get paid, you know how much money you're going to save, you know how much money you're going to invest, and then you spend what's left. Because the difference between the person that becomes wealthy and everybody else is wealthy people save and invest their money first. Everybody else, I spend all my money, I wonder where all my money went, and then if there's anything left, I'll try to save and maybe invest, and hopefully I'll get rich.
I think money plays a very, very big role in our life. We should control the money. We should never let money control us.
A simple tip that I think people can do is just kind of figure out how much they spend on a monthly basis. Track your expenses for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, and you're gonna learn so much more about just your personal habits of what you do.
I think you need to start with the mindset. You have to build the basics. You gotta get rid of the credit card debt. You gotta save a little bit of money. Like, you gotta have some breathing room, because investing is all about taking the extra money that you have, throwing it somewhere to grow that money.
Educate yourself, learn about investing. Invest above all things. Investing above saving is the only way you're gonna get there, because if not, your money goes down. And then just do it. Make a trade, make an investment, fail, learn, do it again, and keep learning, educating, and then surround yourself by a good network.
The secret to wealth is have multiple sources of income. You don't have one, you have all kinds of them. I mean, you can earn more money when you're sleeping than you could spend when you're awake.
Personal finance just comes down to your income minus your expenses. So know those two intimately, know how to drive both of those two, and then just really watch what you spend your money on.
Wealthy people spend their money to earn more money. The majority of everyone else spend their money to buy things, which makes everybody else around them rich.
Rich people are typically more disciplined. They're typically checking their bank account every day, right? They're doing the little things that compound into huge results at the end of 10 or 20 years. And they're thinking in decades, not just what am I gonna do this week, right? They're choosing investment choices for themselves in 10 years, 20 years from now, instead of choosing sports betting on the football match for £1,000, that night. Because they know that their £1,000 working for them today will be worth $10,000, $20,000 in 10 or 20 years. So it's more just like a long-term mindset versus a short-term mindset.
The reason why so many people will go into debt to buy vacations, to buy things, to buy stuff, to look rich. And ironically, that's the key thing that keeps so many people poor for the rest of their life, is because they're scared to look broke. And now, when you try to look rich, that's the thing that's actually keeping you broke.
Everything starts in thought. So if you want order with money, it starts here. Relationship starts here. Your business starts here. It all starts in your mind.
And that's the thing, is if you want to become wealthy, the first part is just your own mindset. It's your own discipline. You have to understand that if you want to continue being able to live that lifestyle, you're going to have to make some changes today. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in this lifestyle for the rest of your life. And it's only going to get more difficult. There's a 3-step framework that I like to talk about because there's a lot of ways to invest. At the very simplest is I can be completely hands-off. I can work with a financial advisor. I can give them my money and they can do everything for me. Stage number 2 is I can be a completely passive investor. It's a little bit more involved than an advisor, but I can just put my money into the stock market. Then we have the people that want to be more involved. What we call is a active investor. And an active investor is somebody who now wants to invest their money themselves. And I don't mean trading, I mean actually investing their money. And now I'm going to be doing the research to find which investments I want to own. Maybe it's real estate that I want to own. Maybe I want to invest in individual companies. So it's more risk for more potential return.
Vision of your future self. How do you see yourself living? Because that is what we do. Everything comes with effort. There is no such thing as returns without effort. There's no way of making money without effort or risking something.
And so for a lot of people, if they feel like they can't save money, it's like sometimes, a lot of the times what they're really saying is like they have an inflated expectation of what would be a significant amount of money. And if you lose your job or have a medical emergency, what it might be, every dollar matters. Every dollar counts. And so there's no amount of savings that is too small to get going. For $5, $10, $20, so much of what matters is that you are building up the savings muscle so that in the future, if you do earn more money, it's second nature of you to put away 10, 20, 30% of your paychecks.
You have to understand that this is just what the system is. Lenders are in the business of lending money, period. They make money when they lend money. So it is in their best interest to lend you more money. A salesperson is in the business of selling something. It's in their best interest to sell you something bigger, sell you something more because they're on commission. The more they sell, the more money they make, period. And so now when you understand this way of thinking, you're going to start changing the way you start looking at things. What is a corporation's best interest? A corporation's best interest isn't for you to keep your money in your pocket and invest your money and be financially smart. A corporation's best interest is to now get you to open up your wallet and buy their stuff because that's how they make money. Does that make them evil? Well, I'll let you decide. I think, look, you don't need to assign an emotion. It just is what it is, because once you understand this, you're just going to look at the world very differently. Because when you understand the way the system works, now you can say, in the business of selling me something, a bank's in the business of lending me something, a salesperson's in the business of getting me to buy something bigger. What do you need? I need the financial education to know what I can buy. Because guess what? We all need things. And when you have money, you don't feel so bad about spending money because you know how to control it. Now I can go to a corporation and buy the things that I want, that I like, and have a great experience because I can. I can go out and know when I should borrow money. Maybe I borrow money to buy other assets. You borrow money to buy rental properties. I borrow money to grow a business. Maybe I go to a salesperson and I have them sell my things for me. Now you start thinking about things very differently because you understand the way the system works.
What is your perspective, or what is there to know about people who can't put their hand in their pocket as opposed to keep putting it in too frequently?
I have two views on this. One is it's just as broken and detrimental to have a mentality of I can't spend this money to the person who can't spend it fast enough and runs himself over a cliff. It's just as much of a mental illness in that situation. And if you talk to a lot of financial advisors, they will tell you the number one psychological ailment of their clients are baby boomers who have saved several $1 million, can easily afford to safely have a wonderful retirement and can't bring themselves to spend a penny of it because their financial identity is number goes up every year.
I'm a saver.
I'm a saver and my net worth goes up every year. And the idea of starting to entrench that down is so painful to them. The other side of this, of why I think it's actually half rational, is we're fortunate to live in a world where if you retire at 60, there's a meaningful chance you're going to live into your 90s. And so you're talking about, it was not that long ago I mean, 60 or 70 years ago, the idea of retirement, by and large, didn't exist for most people.
People just worked up until
they worked until
couldn't
they died.
work anymore.
Your retirement party was also your funeral. That was how it worked. And retirement was something that rich people could afford to do, but ordinary people, it didn't work at all. And then even if you go back to the 1980s, you retired at 60, you're probably going to die at 68. So you're talking, you might need to fund a retirement for 3, 5, maybe 10 years. Now you're legitimately looking at people who might need to fund a retirement for 40 years. And the amount of money that so the idea that they are worried about spending too quickly, they're like, yeah, good worry. You should think about that.
I'm a big advocate of not doing what the majority of people do. Nothing comes easy, but change can always be made regardless of where you are, what your background is, where you come from, but it's gonna take work. I think the best thing to help your outcome to get to where you want to go is hard work, sacrifice. That way you can enjoy the rest of your life and never have to worry about money again.
So how do you figure out most money humanly possible? It's two things. It's the size of the problem. It is the value of the solution.
Multiple revenue streams is now the way the world works because the cost of living has become so expensive that everyone's having to do multiple jobs. But with technology, we can actually do it much easier. I think investing is much more important. I made the mistake of being a saver when I was young because, the fear that, all of that stuff meant I was super risk averse. And I was an investment banker. I was investing. And then once we saw the banking system fail, I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to take control of my own finances.
There has to be change, and that change is difficult. And that's the part that I think a lot of people have a hard time talking about or comprehending. There is relief, but it comes with severe, extreme, and quick sacrifice. What do I mean? Number one, you got to cut back your expenses as fast as possible. In that situation, you have to sell as much stuff as possible. I mean, bankruptcy absolutely works, but you also lose your house. You also lose other things along with it. There's a lot of emotional toll with it. You have a family, you have a kid. I mean, it's also a big reason people end up getting a divorce. So it can also impact your life in many different ways. So you have to make extreme sacrifices. And I mean, get rid of the Netflix subscription, not because it's just costing you $15 a month, but because the average American is spending more than 2 hours a day watching Netflix. And if you're in that type of situation and you're spending 2 hours sitting there watching whatever the heck is on Netflix, how do you sleep at night? You shouldn't be sleeping 8 hours a night. You better be getting up, go and try to get some more money. I don't care if it's Uber, I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. Find some extra money and learn how you can earn some more money. And I mean, it sounds harsh, but the reality is if you want extreme change, it's not going to happen without extreme change.